Welcome back to Brent's Hang. I'm Brent Barnett. Last week, we showed you the design process of Sean Fuller's rack. This week, we're going to show you the build. You know, we came across a number of challenges, but since Gibraltar is such a versatile and open system, we were able to adapt it to fit Sean's functional and stylistic needs.
I really wasn't for sure what to expect, but I came in with guns ablaze, and I was like, I want something that just really stands out that people are going to look like, going, oh my gosh, that's really ridiculous, but it's just cool as can be. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely cool as can be, and we've accomplished it. We have an 8x8 riser that all this stuff has to fit on, and in all actuality, we pretty much fit everything on 4x8, which is unheard of with this size of this kit.
I've never seen the size of a kit on a 4x8 riser before.
It's unbelievable, unbelievable. 3 bass drums, you know, 1-2 rack toms, 3 floor toms, a plethora of cymbals, everything just fit on it, and it's absolutely stunning. I can't wait to put the drum kit behind it. It's going to look awesome.
Here's a challenge that I'm having. I need to get both of these bars to be exactly parallel perfectly with each other without one of them being tweaked like that, without the other one being tweaked, because this is how the toms are going to come out of right here. So here we're establishing the 2 bars being parallel. Besides 2 of these crossbars being supports for the 2 parallel bars, the 3 of them together are making it so that each of the bars are parallel with one another. Being that if we could slide one of the crossbars up and down without any resistance, then we know that all the bars are parallel together. Now that we've established that the bars are parallel, we can shorten the distance between the 2 parallel bars and actually make them into legs. So you can have it hang off the end without worrying about needing this, without supporting it from down here, you're supporting it from right here. So I say we find the distance we want for this down here to be, lock that into place, and then we can always we'll just chop the top off.
Inch is a foot in the back of the room. It'll add a lot of volume to it.
Here's my worry, and I'll tell you this, and you tell me, because I have not seen the set. Okay. Well, in all actuality, those are the ramps that are going up. That's right. So on either side, there's ramps that are going up, and then a deck behind.
Oh, there's a deck behind you where they're going to walk.
Yeah. Now, there's going to be space here, but I'm not for sure if there's going to have it.
Them coming for our YouTube window or something.
It's part of building a rack, gnawing on beef jerky.
This is basically, right now, split the bass drum right in half, like the line is.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to cut off about another 10 inches of that, so that'll put it right about here, which is
inside,
plenty of space. We could actually get them to be, we could actually do it this close. We could move them in about like another 1.5 inches on each side.
I think if we could go lower and if we could utilize more of the curve that way and bring it down a little bit closer to the right.
Okay, so you want
better. Make it a little bit lower.
Okay. We'll leave this clamp on the front. Chop it right here, then we'll use the T-clamp right there. Because I'm just worried about maybe cutting this too high, but we can still slide everything this way. We need to have some more distance right over here because the toms are, the weight's going to be this side, so it's going to cause everything to list this way.
Right.
So if anything, we'll slide everything forward.
Right. Yeah.
How's the curve on that? That's a little different than what we had before, isn't it?
I'm gonna put on some
Actually,
tension.
again, it just adds size to everything, sort of.
Awesome. This is true.
It's just the U.S. Well,
The only thing is I don't want to make this to where it can only be used on a riser. I want you to be able to, like, you play it on a ground if you ever need to, because you never know.
Look at that.
Be that low right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have other bars coming up. Boink, boink. Don't hold all your cymbals.
Yep.
You'll actually have to have bars because we won't have boom arms that are that tall.
No. Maybe like right above the hi-hat. You know what I'm saying? Like.
See what the octobom's right here then.
Yeah. Doom, doom, doom. Like that kind of thing.
And you need them to be like playing surface, like right there.
Kind of like like that. They're gonna be shooting down, but like playing surface, absolutely.
Okay.
Kind of
And then the 14 goes right here.
Yeah, 14 is gonna go in here. Hi-hat's over here. So yeah, probably I would think the hi-hat, since the hi-hat's gonna be right here, rod will be back right there. So like up in this area. Might have to do a straight.
Well, what are we
Fake.
trying to do here? We're gonna ride cymbal or?
Well, definitely ride cymbal's going to be over here.
Put the ride cymbal right here and start the second pipe right there. Oh, curve coming off like that.
Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah.
Make it its own piece though, so they're not technically attached. But you put the leg right there, just have it sit right there. So this would be its own piece, and that would be its own piece.
Oh, you want that to be its own piece?
It could be. I think what Sean's looking to do is keep it sort of modular that way, so it can break down and just sort of put it in a case and keep the pieces. Now, if it's something just easy to attach, we just make it easy to attach. If it's just a screw to take the pipe off.
The only
right
thing
there,
is this,
you can just put.
you're not gonna be able to mount anything on this
Yeah.
because
you won't
it'll
have any
it'll need some kind of like support.
Just put a foot here and make that just like its own.
You want to do 2 feet right there?
I think if you have one coming off this piece, and then so you just put this just pushes into that pipe like that, and then you got a foot here to support this end of it, even probably out as far as here, and then start the second piece as another rack basically. Put a foot here and then put a bar there to build that stuff. So it's 2 independent pieces. That'll give him the ability to split the riser and get off stage. And the
I mean, you
rest of it,
can, or you can just disconnect the side of a clamp.
one clamp and pull out. Yeah, anything
and
like
just,
that's
and just
gonna work.
pull the horizontal out. It's gonna be more stable though if you attach it to one. If you attach everything to one center leg. You know, because if we have just 2 legs right here with a crossbar, and then you're starting to hang really tall things off of it, you're gonna lose the stability because it's not connected to 2 other points. So we're gonna have the same thing right here on this side.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to have that bar curve on the inside like that.
Okay. Yeah.
This is right about where we want to do this. Here is where we actually came into a problem. Since he put the bass drum right to the left of his main bass drum, that cuts into the actual space where a crossbar would normally go. And by placing the crossbar bent inward like this, takes up space where the hi-hat would go, where the double pedal would go, causes some problems. So we're gonna have to figure out a different way of supporting this front T-leg the way that we built it without connecting a crossbar to it. And that's the problem. We designed this T-leg to be able to attach to another portion of the rack. The thing that bothers me about this is that the drum has the ability to roll this direction. The way I was thinking before is it would go the same direction as the drum, and you'd fix it to where you have the rubber feet going right here, and it can't roll either direction. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What we do for the bass drum that sits on, it would be attached to this. It'd be the legs off of
Yeah,
this.
that would be the whole T-leg.
I'm thinking about how it goes in a case.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say.
Okay, so you want to try the 30s as T-legs, or try this idea?
Definitely.
We
Yeah.
should try it on this side to see where it's going to end out, because this is the most crucial side right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
This is the new T-leg right here, right? So imagine this not being here.
Right.
This whole piece with this weight right here is just going to fall down that way.
You can't leave this on here. You could scoot this back in a little bit and attach.
Well, I mean, we don't have a way of putting the bar through to the other side. Well, if this is going to be a standalone thing, this has to have something over here.
Yeah, that's
It
what I was
absolutely
thinking.
has to have, unless we connect it to something else over here.
What if you cut that right there, went down from here like mine, just did a straight pipe down to there and there on a T-leg, and then that continued off of here or something?
See, the problem that we ran into here is the bass drum is taking up the space where we would normally need the crossbar to be. Now, we designed this T-leg so we could attach it to another portion of the rack. Well, the bass drum is preventing us from attaching a crossbar to another leg. So we're going to completely have to modify it because that crossbar is going to be in the way of the hi-hat stand or the double pedal. So we're going to have to figure out a new way of reconfiguring that front T-leg so that it stands on its own and it can be by itself without having to attach to anything. Let's keep this the way it is for now, and let's get the tom height.
Yeah.
So as soon as we get this, we can then cut this thing.
This'll work. Yeah, we're good. We're solid.
You need it about like this, don't you? This is where you need it, right? So the solution that we came up with to fix the T-leg was to rotate the T-leg assembly 90 degrees so that directly underneath the rack toms, we had the T-leg pointed directly underneath the bass drum. That gave it the ability to stand alone so that it wouldn't wobble left or right. And all we did for the front was just take a 6-inch little bar, cut bar that we had, use it as kind of a peg in the front. The front more acts like kind of a kickstand or a little support, but the main support is coming from the big T-leg in the back just underneath the rack toms. And now this T-leg assembly can stand alone.
All right. We're fitting on an 8x8. That was the thing I was most worried about.
Yeah.
So now we've got to do the ride cymbal side, and we want to duplicate it because we want it to look symmetrical to the rack tom side, but it doesn't have any rack toms in it. We need it to stand alone, just like the rack tom side of it does, but we need for it to only hold a ride cymbal. Now we tried a couple different bars to achieve this type of function, but we couldn't do it because it didn't give us the look we wanted, and it didn't give us the function that we actually really needed. So we just decided to mount the ride cymbal directly out of the long support bar that's holding the right side up. This is a great example of how our structures can be manipulated for your own customizable purposes. We're trying to get this china out of a curve bar coming up out of the ground, and I use the GCEX extension clamp, trying to make it all one line because I didn't want a bunch of bulk down there. I wanted everything to be on one line. But the angle that it threw the curve bar off at, the china ended up basically being right in his face, and no one can play it when it's that close. So we had to modify, and we had to change the clamp that was used to an adjustable right angle clamp so that he could pivot the bar away from him a little bit so it could be a little bit more comfortable when he was playing. Now all the weight is facing and pushing towards the drummer, so it's wanting to cause everything to lean in. I need to add another foot, another support to prevent that from happening. Since we're putting a foot there for a support, why don't we make more of a use out of it and turn it into a stand? So let's put a crash on it. The positioning of the china was really bothering Sean. He couldn't get it to exactly the place that he wanted it to. We tried it at different heights. We tried it at different depths, further away from him, closer. He wasn't happy with any of it. So we just decided that some of the length on the bar needed to go. Okay, so it's time to attach the crash cymbal just above his 10-inch tom. We don't really have a crossbar to mount it to, so I'm just going to mount it directly to the T-leg. No one will even see that it's attached to anything on the floor. It'll look like it's kind of floating. So now we need to figure out a way we can mount all the crashes on his left-hand side, the SPDS 30, the Octobons. We need to figure out a way to do that because on the floor tom side, we were able to connect a crossbar to the front T-leg and to the back T-leg. Here we don't have that luxury because it gets in the way of the hi-hat and the double pedal. So we're going to have to build a separate side rack just for the two crashes, the Octobons, and the SPDS 30. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for watching. We hope you guys enjoyed the build. Stay tuned. We've got a lot of videos coming your way.